Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Just a friendly reminder that today's conference will start in 5 minutes.
Selamat pagi Bapak Ibu sekalian yang kami hormati. Sekedar mengingatkan bahwa acara akan dimulai dalam waktu 5 menit. Terima kasih.
Good morning, esteemed guests of the conference. Thank you so much for returning to the second day of this conference program.
Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera bagi Bapak Ibu semua. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang di hari kedua The Sixth Taiwan-Indonesia Higher Education Virtual Forum.
In the morning, we will first have 2 feature speech sessions, both featuring very exciting moderator and presenters, followed by a very important MOU signing ceremony.
Hari ini kita akan menyaksikan 2 feature speech yang sangat menarik. Oleh karena itu, kami harapkan Bapak Ibu semua setia selalu untuk berpartisipasi di acara virtual forum ini, dan di akhir acara tentu saja ada penandatanganan naskah kerjasama.
So for the first feature speech session, let's welcome Professor Zhongying Xie. He is esteemed chair professor from Asia University. 让我们欢迎亚洲大学薛荣莹讲座教授。
Hi, good morning, everybody. This is the first session on the second day. In this session, that we have 2 keynote speakers, and the first keynote speaker is President Lin Qihong 校长. He is the president of NYCU, which is the currently merged from the National Jiao Tong University and National Yangming University. Lin Qihong 校长 he is the MD PhD. It's the very rare degree. He got his medical doctor degree at the National Yangming University, Taiwan, and he also got his PhD degree at the Yale University at New Haven, USA. He actually just got elected as the president of this merged university, and also he has vice chancellor of the National Jiao Tong University year before that, and also as a chair professor and of the National Jiao Tong University, and also is a professor of the National Yangming University. And he also is a commissioner of the Department of Health, both of the Taipei City and the New Taipei City. And his talk today will be the challenges and opportunities of higher education in Taiwan, exemplified by the NYCU merger. And I personally very interested in this topic because I'm an alumni of the National Jiao Tong University, and this is the first time I saw the officially see a NYCU. So personally, I would like to hear what the Lin Qihong 校长 have to say about this is the challenge and also as the opportunity. Okay, let's welcome Lin Qihong 校长.
Still muted.
Hi, sorry, I apologize for being muted. I guess I wonder if it's by myself, but okay, thank you very much for the kind introduction. My name is Hong Lin, and my talk is gonna touch a little bit about the merger, and that merger between National Jiao Tong University focus on the semiconductor and many of the electronic related, communication related technology university in Taiwan, with another biomedical focused university, National Yangming University. This merger happened in February 1st this year. I think everybody in the audience probably will agree with the challenge we have right now, which is the aging society combined with the shrinkage of the birth rate. So higher education certainly need to reshape its organization and to face the future obstacle. And mergers among the leading university is one of the approach people have been mentioned about. But this merger deemed to be very difficult, and we are now entering the 10th month. We are still in the first year of the merger. I personally appreciate and experience very much upon the different value and culture from two universities and try to come up with a way to overcome, because the future is ahead of us, full of challenge. And we personally believe that to invent the future, we need to have a new attitude and new strategy to conquer these obstacles. So may I have the next slide, please? Okay. The merger, as I said, this is a brief history of the current NYCU. It started from the left side, which is the National Chiao Tung University, founded in 1896. I believe it's in Shanghai. And then all the way through the modern history of Taiwan and China. The National Chiao Tung University, or originally just Chiao Tung University, was re-established in Hsinchu, Taiwan. And it's actually started by a new institute, Institute of Electronics. And between 1959 and 1978, we founded College of Engineering. So this is sort of strengthened the origin of the NCTU, National Chiao Tung University. And that name carried through 1979 to 2020. It is a comprehensive university. So not only in engineering and electronics, it also have many other disciplines, including humanities. So it's a relatively comprehensive university. On the other hand, National Yangmin College of Medicine was founded in 1975. This is because at that time, the healthcare is distributed unevenly. The rural area healthcare and medical care is a big problem at that time. So the government invest and found this new university. And between 1975 to 1994, it carries the name of College of Medicine. And in 1994, several other institutes are founded. So it's renamed it National Yangmin University. But if you look at the content, it's actually a medical university. So both universities in the past 20 years feel the pressure that we need to find our missing parts. So through the efforts of all the alumni and the predecessor of the administrative team, they decided and went through a lot of trouble. And finally, in year 2021, on the day of February 1st, it's formally merged as National Yangmin Chiao Tung University. I will later refer to as NYCU. So next slide, please. So the location of NYCU, because of this merger, the main campus are two main campuses, one in Taipei, the original Yangming campus, and one in Hsinchu, the original Chiaotong campus, which is included three minor campuses. And we also have a affiliated hospital in Yilan. And also we have a Tainan campus, which is our outreach, especially to the industry of Taiwan. So next slide. So this is the our very prominent alumni of the in the semiconductor industry of Taiwan. We have a recent statistic. It shows that 65% of the CEO and top-level managers in Hsinchu Science Park are NYCU alumni. So listed here are some of them. We can find founder of ASUS, Synnex, TSMC, and Herman Epitech. Okay, next slide. And these are also other big names in the semiconductor industry. And it goes and work very closely with the National Chiaotong University in terms of new research approaches, skill development, and industry networking. And now it's also keep a strong tie with National Yangming Chiaotong University. And thanks to the new legislation in Taiwan, this kind of interaction will become closer and closer in the future. Next slide. So on the other hand, the motto of the Yangming is compassionate mind and skill, put knowledge into practice. This is sort of reflect the spirit of why we have National Yangming College. And later, some of the challenges or some of the mission have been completed. So there's another main goal of the Yangming University, which is to purchase the front-end knowledge and front-end technology in the field of biomedical disciplines. Next slide. All right, so the two universities, based on their original connections and also the combined strengths of the electronics and biomedical, the leadership. Now we have many facilities that's involved in not only the in industrial development, but also in training and internship of our future healthcare givers. Okay, so this including the university hospital. Think deeply, you know, what's our mission? Okay, now there's a term called Education 4.0. So in addition to what we have familiar with, the research and education, we also add in an innovation. And this is sort of reflects the motto of our university. And this education forms a basis for the Industry 4.0 and Health 4.0 under development right now. And recently we add in humanity and sustainability as the goals of higher education in NYCU. Next slide. The objective of this merger, as I said, on the left-hand side is NCTU, and it has its own motto. And on the right-hand side is the motto of NYMU. If you merge them, then we notice that, you know, the heritage and to go deep in whatever disciplines we are in and try to merge and integrate and to have innovative and invention in the future becomes the overlap of the two universities. So we have we are actually complementary to each other. And I mean NCTU and NYMU, but together we want to come up with something new. Okay, so next slide. The purpose, of course, in the university is to educate, to train the future talent. And we think for the future, we need a young generation who are both innovator as well as integrator, who show values from all different disciplines, not from their own. So for that purpose, we advocate that what kind of talent we need in the future. Those talent has to be focused on problem solving. They have to have critical thinking minds and thinking processes. They have to have entrepreneurship. Okay, that's been a major focus. Great to know that the moderator of today's session is an alumni of NCTU. So entrepreneurship used to be, while still is a very strong, prominent feature of the talents we educated from this environment. Creativity and empathy and empathy. Okay, so to summarize them all, we think we need to move from in the past what we call T-type talents, which have a very broad knowledge, but have relatively focused, or you may say single expertise. And we need to move that into, you can call it M-type talents, who also has very broad knowledge and cherish the values from other disciplines, but who also need to have multiple deep expertise. Now, if you merge them together, of course, you have a single, your strongest, your original single deep expertise, but you are able to turn around and face the challenge and create new approaches, new attitude, new expertise, and then you have new behavior. And we summarize these into what we call now the pi-type talents, as shown in the diagram. So the depth of knowledge in one area, but we also need to have creativity and critical thinking skill in other area. And most, I think most importantly, is the cherish the values from all other disciplines. That's the start of crossing different discipline boundaries. So next slide. Okay, so the vision, the mission, and core value of the NYCU. First of all, our vision is that we want to be a great university, and that great will reflect on value innovation. Okay, so the mission, we highlighted 4 areas: academic excellence, talent cultivation, global impact, and we want to be a change maker or encourage our faculty, our students, or alumni to be able to brave enough to face the challenge in the future and become the change makers. Now, for that, our core value will be humanity-oriented, science-oriented, and technology-driven, and industrial is sort of our aligned, industry-aligned university. Okay, next slide. As I mentioned before, there's 2 universities comes out, one from science and technology development, one from medical and health And together, we think humanity and arts will be the common value. So we try to try to find a common ground and our common value in the overlapping area. Okay, next slide. And in addition to that, we need to elevate this value and this merger with law and management, especially those from the data sciences right now. The financial support and the sort of investment and using fintech technology, we think is a key approaches. And to do that, also envision the pandemic effect on higher education. We can already experience the withdrawal of the public investment to the higher education because of this pandemic challenge to not only our aging population. Education needs to find, because we are a state university, in the past, most of the support, I would say, more than 90% are from the government. And that parts from the government support will keep on shrinking. Right now, the support from the government in the State University of Taiwan is less than 50%, okay? And we vision more decrease in the future. So one way to get out from this sort of support is to take the what we call academia and industry co-creation. Okay, next slide. So we want to have private sector to participate. Okay. So the not only the technology but also the human resources deeply are needed in the upcoming future. Okay. Right. I show a big connection sign right now. I hope this can be solved. Anyway, so on the first 100 days, we come up with this 3-year plan that has 10-year vision to to sort of highlight what we're going to do in the next 3 years. And this is originated from a old quote from Guanzi. It means that it takes 10 years to grow a tree, 100 years to nurture the talents. Okay, next slide. Okay, and they are strategic priorities and themes and shows in the slides. I just want to highlight it, the left upper corner, to really converge the different value appreciation. We're going to restructure and is right now restructuring the collegiate education in our undergrad student. And to do that, we need to focus on restructuring and reorganization. And we try to be more internationalization. So we're gonna really focus on the bilingual campus such that we can help our foreign students and faculty to work more comfortably and productively in the NYCU. And I mentioned about industry and academic co-creation. And we think cross-campus, because as I said, we have many different campuses. So how to make these areas and disciplines integrated with one another is a great challenge. We want to do frontier science research, but we also focus on tech translation for industry development. And law and regulatory for digital transformation is certainly one of the major focus, not only in Taiwan, but also across the world. And we want to have, not only digital transformation, but really take care about the humanity sides and also the regulatory sides of the digital information. And this is from two originally very major university in Taiwan. And I think each one has their own legacy burden. Okay, so how to cherish the heritage and and we go together to face the future is another things that we are really doing right now. Trending and forward deploy is what we need to do. So these are all the strategic priorities. So next slide. In terms of the area of research, I think this is probably the audience will be interested in this event. I'm going to highlight a little bit so that anyone who are interested in interacting on or collaborating with NYCU, this is certainly part of the areas that you may be interested in. So that will include healthy aging and long-term care, smart healthcare. I'm sorry, the third one should be a quarantine or what we call pandemic-related technology. That's the third item. Sorry about the typo. Precision healthcare medicine and also pharmacogenomics. Regulatory medicines, regenerative medicine and cell therapy is item number 5. And in our original focus on the semiconductor industry, this is one of our original strengths and still growing very strong. Semiconductor and smart system, AI and innovation, quantum technology, fintech, digital finance, neuroscience, brain research is, we have a strong team in original Yang Min on the neuroscience and brain research. Bio-ICT is a new area that's sort of advocated and been developed quite well by my predecessor, President Wu Yanhua and President Zhang Maozong. We're going to still carry those through. And battery and energy tech, next generation communication, advanced materials and translation. These are the areas, or we sort of we have a recent sort of screening, but of course there are also other areas, especially those in the humanity areas that I didn't have chance to put those on. Okay, next slide. I mentioned that we have 9. The 2 main campuses are in Taipei, the Yangmin, and another one in Jiaotong in Hsinchu. We have several hospitals, so we put them as the teaching hospital system. So that's on the bottom part of the slide. And we also have campuses for academia, industry, co-creation, not only in Tainan, but another one in the Taoyuan area. So this goes together with the merger, and hope that with this new structure and new organization, we can create a new area in the near future. Next slide. The idea of co-creation versus what we call collaboration. So in the past, where the government advocates the collaboration between academia and industry. This is sort of the simple diagram describe the idea. The funding is from the industry and using the talents, human resources in the academia, and try to push forward the targets. and this certainly face a problem that everybody kind of standing in their own fortress and hope that something in the middle can move forward. Now, recently, the government just passed a new act, okay, that encouraged a new model of industry academia innovation. And we call it Industry Academia Innovation School was found. This is a relax of what the regulatory of the university that we all been bound in the past. So under the new act, we are now have more flexible administrative practices to have human resources from both academia and industry to really jump onto the wagon in order to get it going. So to that, I just exemplify by our system, which is in the past relatively rigid. We now create a master or doctor degree of for professional practices. Okay, so this is in addition to what we have, Doctor of Philosophy. Okay, we have now Doctor of Professional Practice. Okay, for the faculty resources, we invited the experts from the industry, and we can offer them Professor of Professional Practice through certain evaluation. So the system kind of try to merge together. Right now, because this act passed in the May this year, we are going to formally establish this IAIS, Industry Academia Innovation School, in December 22nd this year. So we're going to formally make this thing going, and hope that through this kind of new scenario, Taiwan's next generation industry can really go hands in hands with our higher education. Next slide. So this is the general idea. Co-creation means that for the future industry, we used to have a industry and academia who try to lift it up. And the new system or the new IAIS I referred to in the previous slide can serve as a pivotal that will sort of strengthen our original push forward, and hopefully we can lift the future industry of Taiwan. So next slide. And as I referred to, digital transformation bring us not only convenience and efficiency, but it also brings in inequality and also other drawback that we need to plan ahead. So the innovative law and kind of management are essential. So these are several areas that we've been working. We need to focus on privacy, especially those for the data-driven innovation, okay? And that applies to individuals, but also in our workplace. And the governance, especially national governance, need to realize and reflect the change bring about by this digital information. And in practice, there are at least 4 areas shows in the middle that we are working on, which is on knowledge production, health and welfare, law and justice, economy and trade and finance. And this, if we put together, also reflect in our international relationship. I think in the future, the transnational governments need to be really put attention on this law and management after digital transformation of the national governments. So next slide. Okay, so having all that in mind, implementation is the key. Okay, so I have a new new in Chinese let our faculty to realize that in the past we focus on evidence-based knowledge collection. We call it 实证. Okay, and in the future, implementation is the key. 实践，所以如何从实证走到实践 this is part of the university social responsibility, and I think we need to all have not only attention but also act through that goal. Next slide. I guess this is the last one, and I hope you folks will be able to, especially those from abroad, to visit Yangming Chiaotong University. So work together, we go far. Thank you very much.
Thanks for President Lin Qihong. This is a very excellent talk. I really appreciate. I especially like your excellent 3-year plan and 10-year vision. That is great. Let's open the question to the floor. Any question from the floor? Any question? Okay, if no question, I think I have a question for President Lin. Yes, I'm an alumni of the NCTU, and as you know that most of the alumni of the NCTU actually is a strong feeling and affiliate to the NCTU University, and I believe they will channel their feeling to the new NYCU also. Looking forward to it. And my question here is that the training and thinking of the medical training and the engineering training, computer science training are all different, and the way they're thinking are all different. So how to merge these two together, actually, I think is a big challenge. But if you can merge it well, that will become a big opportunity. So my question is, in your view, how to do this?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. As I said, this is not only two universities who has very prominent past, and so legacy burden is certainly present. So how to bring these two sides of people together, and not only look into the past. This is their own. They are very strong and very value heritage, but also to try to look at your partner and look ahead, look into the future. So this is quite a big challenge, and in the first few months we do think, and also we did observe the differences from people from these two different cultures, these two different universities, and we try to really sit down and look into the statement and advocacy from both sides. And I think the best way is to get the human flow going. If you have chance to communicate and to really, if in fact they can work together, then that kind of a gap could be merged, could be disappear gradually in the future. And we have several experience on that. And also we look into the future, like for the undergraduate student starting in the spring semester, we can have the original undergraduate student, first year undergrad student from Yangming campus to really stay in whole semester in the Jiaotong campus, and vice versa. And we also set up common laboratory. We encourage faculty member to work. You can bring in your postdoc, your PhD students to work or set up a laboratory, a common laboratory in the other campuses. So really stirred up the system. So we just started and see how they go. So thank you for your question.
Thanks. Really a great talk. We thanks again for President Lin. And our next speaker today will be Professor Sasmito Jade, and is from Indonesia. And Professor Jade is got his doctor degree from IPB and also got his doctor degree from Okayama University in Japan, and also he holds a different visiting scholar position in Korea University in South Korea, and also in some university in Iran and Japan. So he have a pretty much have a international experience on on this position, and he have a lot of publication. And his talk today will be internationalization and the ranking of the Indonesian higher education study case, University Brawijaya. We welcome Professor Sasmito Jade.
Thank you, Professor Son Jin Shai. Okay, thank you, Professor Zon Yin Shai. Sorry, my pronunciation or spelling. It is my great pleasure for me to standing here to presenting my presentation with the title International and Ranking of Indonesian Higher Education Study Case of Universitas Brawijaya. This is my motto, building up a noble future. If you know about the building, that means we are in the process to build and a novel. If we think about novel, it is very clear that not just based of truth, but also full of value. This is our future vision. UB profile, we have more than 17 faculty with 177 study program with 70,000 of students, and also in every year we receive more than 60,000 students. Okay, UB is in Indonesia, of course, as Dr. Nizam said, in Indonesia we have living more than 70,000 of islands, living with more 700 local Indonesian language. Also, we living more than in Indonesia more than 4,000 university in Indonesia. So you can imagine how big the Indonesian in terms of university. Especially if we think about the UB or Universitas Brawijaya, we living in East Java. Yeah. We living in surrounding mountains area. Of course, Malang, our city towns. It's not a big city. It's not like in Jakarta, Semarang, or Surabaya. It's just in Regency. We are living in a small city in countryside, and then our population in Malang about 1 million people, and almost 90% we are Muslim, and we living that I have told before. We're living more than 500 meters from the sea, and I think it is a little bit nice place because the temperature is not so high like Jakarta. And from Jakarta about 1,000 kilometers by plane 1 hour, by train about 12 hours. From Surabaya at about 100 kilometers or 1 hour by car. This is our campus. If you come to our campus, you can look the mimic of our campus because UB has become a state university since the 5th of January 1963. That's mean our university is relatively young, and all our building in our campus, it is the mimic of ancient king of Majapahit kingdom. This is our vision because it's very important for us to think about our future and to think about our history and culture. As you know, Majapahit Empire occupy almost more than half Southeast Asian, included southern Philippines, Malaysia, part of Thailand, and the northern part of Australia. That's how big this imperium. This is our vision because we're living with many local language, different culture. So we believe our way of thinking is very important to see about our life, our education, and also our future. We're living with many culture, with many diversity. As all of you knows about Indonesia, is second largest biodiversity in the world. This is also a way of thinking of this in our way of thinking. Of course, that our student now carrying about 54,000 to 70,000 of students, undergraduate student, master degree, and also 20 years planning. And I hope in the future we will build our university become distinctive university. In international term, we have policy. The first is achievement of international reputation with its integrated with University Brawijaya ranking improvement program, of course. International accredited study also. Another thing is increasing the ability of the academic community to be independent, autonomous, and able to direct themselves. Another thing, how to make international standard education and also improve UB competitiveness at the international level. Another thing is improving the quality of cooperation, which is follow up with the development of economy and social culture, of course, based on the strategic plan of University Brawijaya for 2020 to 2024. Of course, if we make some building or some development, we should make indicator of internationalization. The first step is national, of course, and then another step is international. For national, we have a national university ranking by Directorate General of Higher Education, what we call it clusterization. And international is KS World Ranking, and also World Barometric, for ICU, and something like that. If we think about our future, we believe universe is mathematics, but human never finish to calculate it. It is very important way of thinking that we have known before. This is way of thinking that if we make something about our future, and then based on this way of thinking, now we believe about the disruption. In the Middle Age, we believe about Newtonian way of thinking, that everything we can count it. And then after Einstein's thing about the relativity, now we know about our future. It's uncertainty, it is relative, it is disrupt and other thing. And also the last thing that Stephen Hawking said about the future, and he said about, I know what's God mind. That means even maybe Stephen Hawking is not believe about God, but he say about the God. That means we believe in the future, everything know about the gods. So that's based on this way of thinking, we try to arrange our strategy. The first, we make strategy, what we call it giraffe or giraffe. As all of you knows about the giraffe, the animal with distinctive value, and an animal with distinctive posture. If you look the crowded, so many animal there, everybody knows he is a giraffe. But another animal maybe you have not known yet because it's not distinct. It is spirit to make a distinguished way of thinking. Even if we think about the substance of what we want to say, what we want to write down here, like G is, that means governments. I is innovation, R is reputation, A alumni, F is faculty, F is funds, and E efficient. Everything is common. But if you make synthesize, it will be, distinct. So this is the important thing for us to compete, to discuss, to look about future with distinguished way of thinking. Because we know Brawijaya University is not, we are relatively young compared to others university in Indonesia. We cannot reach older or our older brother in Indonesia like ITB, UE, IGM, and others university. If we compete with them, yeah, it is not fair if we not make something that what we call it distinguished. If we look at distinguished like Giraffe, it is very important way of thinking for us to compete in globalized world. For example, if the circumstances, the color of circumstances red, and you joining become red, that means you are nothing. You are not exist. That means you are not in terms of this thing. Even if we think about governance, the thing about innovation, everybody think about that. If you look about reputation, alumni or something like that. But we should make our program should be clearly distinct with such kind of way of thinking. How to improve this way of thinking? We build what we call it Giraffe Award. Giraffe Award, that's mean individual award for international collaboration, international way of thinking also. This award will be given to lecturer, to faculty member, to professor that have outstanding performance. Another is what we call it Giraffe Grants. Giraffe Grant will be grant to department and faculty. The department and faculty that have make strategic plans would have encourage the faculty or college department and faculties improving strategic planning for internationalization with systemic, integrated, and moving forward with such speeds. Our strategy, you can look this one, internationalization at home, for example. That's the program, visiting professor program. We invite professors from reputable university abroad to teach one semester at UB. Another thing is aim at improving the quality, capacity, and competence of graduates using 3 learning sources. What we call it, this program is 3-in-1, from UB, lecturer, visiting professor, and from abroad practitioners. This 3-in-1 program will implementing in all of the subject course. Now, moreover, after pandemic era, it is much more easy because now in lecturing, in conference, we should make very easy online system. There is what we call it blessing in disguise when in pandemic era. We are surprised in this year, there are more than 100 professors come from various countries in the world. So you can look this strategy, it's a surprise for me. And also we make some scholarship for international students. What we call it Munir Awards. Yeah. We provide humanitarian scholarship for international students, not only from Palestine, from others countries that have humanitarian problem. So now many students come from abroad, come to our university. Another thing, scholarship from distinguished international students. Now you can imagine from USA, we have students also. From Russia also, we have students. Another thing is scholarship from international students from UB partner. Of course, for government scholarship for international students like KNB scholarship, Dharma Seswa, and UB partners, others. Ladies and gentlemen, our strategy for international cooperation become member of consortium. What we call it is multilateral collaboration, like Siamiu, Sharka, Waijuk, Apai, Apukan, and others. Multilateral organization. We are surprised also after we make some collaboration with international university like University of Macquarie in Australia and University of Coimbatore of India. In this year, in last year, UB awarded winner for innovative practice in inclusive education. So UB, the only university awarded by United Nations in Southeast Asia, because we practicing inclusive education. This is what we call it. We try to make our distinguished education in terms of inclusive. And now United Nations award me. I myself, in this occasion, make a presentation, so I know the exact problem of this awarded. So one of our distinguished is inclusive university education. The result of this program, we have many collaboration with universities around the world, like in Japan, and also many in Taiwan. We have many collaboration with Taiwanese university and throughout the world, of course. Another thing is bilateral collaboration that I have taught before, and multilateral that I have before also, because we still believe the key point of globalization is the collaboration between university to university. What is our program for international collaboration? The first is based on mutual forum, like student exchange, joint research, education system, twinning program, sandwich program like double degree, lecture exchange, visiting scholar, supervising professor, distance learning, blended learning, or joint publication, joint patent, and etc. This is the result, the collaboration of our internationalization. Almost throughout the world, we make some collaboration with very tight collaboration with certain program in real program that I have taught before. And how about the result? Of course, now our ranking of PS, we in terms of subject, we also have rising. Wibometric also, THE, yeah, and other ranking in the world that we know we can reach. Our ranking become higher and higher. Of course, now we still building. That's we have not finished it yet, but we believe our future is noble. It is very important for us. This is our ranking, yeah, and then this is our awards with international award that all of us know, be happy about this reach. So the closing remark, we cannot ignore international ranking, like it or not, the ranking exists. Thank you to all of you. That's all.
Thank you, Professor JD, for the excellent talk.
Stop.
Any question from the floor? Any question? Okay, I think due to the time, I think we thanks again for Professor JD, and we end the session now.
Thank you, Professor Shea, for your excellent moderation. We especially want to thank first Professor Lin, President Lin from the National Yangming Chiao Tung University for sharing this insight into this very much anticipated merger of the two schools, and not just the physical merger, but also how from the academic perspective and from the vision, how it's going to be implemented.
Terima kasih kami ucapkan kepada Profesor John Yin Shea, Chair Professor Asia University, karena sudah memimpin diskusi feature speech yang kelima, presenting Profesor Chi Hung Lin dari National Yangming Chiao Tung University dengan tema Challenges and Opportunities. Kami rasa banyak hal lesson learned yang kita dapatkan dengan internasionalisasi education yang terjadi di National Yangming Chiao Tung University.
We also want to thank Vice Rector Professor Dr. Jati for his view and his sharing of the diverse and proliferation program in his university, which has brought forth a lot of very exciting collaboration as well as actual results.
Terima kasih kami ucapkan juga kepada Profesor Dr. Muhammad Sasmito Jati, Vice Rector, Wakil Rektor Universitas Brawijaya yang telah membagikan proses internasionalisasi yang terjadi di Universitas Brawijaya.
Now for the last feature speech session of today, we're excited to welcome Professor Chung Wei Ling. He is the Dean of the College of Management at Asia University, and he will be the moderator of this session. 现在让我们欢迎亚洲大学管理学院的林君伟院长。
Hello, good morning, everyone. For those in person showed up here, and also our honorable guests and all the attendees in the online. Let me introduce myself. My name is Chen Wei Lin. I'm the Dean of Asia Management College, and also I'm the Dean of Industrial Academia Collaboration Office. And I think the reason why I'm appointed as the moderator for this session is because the main thing for this session is talking about the future of the higher education, both in Taiwan and Indonesia, and how we are going to use some of the state-of-the-art technologies or some of the concepts which can migrate us, or I'm going to borrow the word used by President Chow, the re-evolution, how we are going to migrate smoothly into the future. And I think it's my honor. This session is basically divided by two speakers. The first one, let me introduce you, the first honorable guest, President Zhao Hanjie Zhao. President Zhao is the president of National Donghua University, and he has a very long bio. I will try to make it brief. And President Chow received his MS and PhD degrees in EE from Purdue University, West Lafayette, Indiana, 1989 and 1993, respectively. He's currently professor with the Department of EE and National Donghua University, and where he's also served as president, which I just mentioned. He's also with the Department of Computer Science and Information Engineering, National Yen University, Taiwan. And he was director of the Computer Center for Ministry of Education, Taiwan, from September 2008 to July 2010. His research interests include IPv6, cross-layer design, cloud computing, IoT, 5G, mobile networks, which are all the very hot technologies in the EE and computer science area. He has authored or co-authored 4 books and has published about 400 referee professional research papers. And he has completed more than 150 and ME, EE thesis students and 11 PhD students. He served as the editor-in-chief for the Institution of Engineering Technology Networks, Journal Internet Technology, the Journal International Journal of Internet Protocol Technology, and also the International Journal of the Ad Hoc and the Ubiquitous Computing. He's a fellow of the IET and the chartered fellow of the British Computer Society. And Dr. Chow has been ranked as top 10 computer scientist in Taiwan for 2020 by Guided to Research. And there's lots of award, from President Chow. I think let me formally introduce President Chow presenting his paper, Re-Evolution of Education, Metaverse Learning and Online Collaboration in the Post-COVID-19 Era. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President Chow.
Okay, you can hear me loud and clear, right? Good morning, everyone. It gives me a great honor to be here to present some sort of idea regarding distance learning in the near future. What I'm trying to introduce is how to combine the nowadays very hard topic, metaverse, with the distance learning together, and so that in the post-COVID-19 era, it can be even more helpful for certain topics of the courses that can facilitate some sort of distant education, so that we can deal with under such a COVID-19 problem. Next slide, please. Before that, let me just take a few seconds to introduce my university, Donghua. And here is some of the ranking lists regarding Donghua University. So Donghua is about within 15 to 20, ranking 15 to 20 in Taiwan. However, we have some more ranking that's even more advanced, such as for the World University Real Impact Ranking, WRI. As you can see, there's a smiley face over here. WRI, they are trying to emphasize those innovation and that kind of and also the real what kind of impact it can bring to the world. Okay, and for and from that ranking list, Donghua is ranking number 100 to 200 in the world, and also under crisis management, Donghua is ranking number 10 in the world. Next slide, please. And regarding some subject ranking, you can see from the diagram, computer science, Donghua is about 5 in Taiwan. And the whole engineering, we are about number 7. And you can take a look yourself. But more than that, from the Shanghai Jiao Tong, they provide another kind of subject ranking. And Donghua also have 2 different topics being included in the top 10 in Taiwan. Those are tourism and electric engineering, electricity, that kind of topics are also included in the top 10 area. Next slide, please. Okay, so what's going on for the past 2 years? I guess Donghua went through a lot of challenge, just like our friends in Indonesia. Next slide. And we are doing on and off, on and on again, establishing the academic prevention team and holding university level academic prevention conference, trying to make our campus to be free from the COVID-19. Next slide. Therefore, we are creating the so-called anti-epidemic zone on our homepage, providing all sorts of necessary information to our students. We have an English version, especially for our foreign students, of course. Next slide, please. And following up with individual home quarantine and on-campus fever cases, and we're setting up anti-epidemic dormitory, implementing campus epidemic prevention control, and implement stay home, stay safe study programs. All that kind of effort being devoted to try to make our campus to be free from COVID-19. Next slide. Most important thing is we're trying to monitor cafeteria epidemic prevention and hygiene, keep our campus safe, and promoting and keeping the social distance, frequent hand washing, and mask wearing, always being advocated throughout the campus. Next slide. So that we have some sort of logo. Once you have take the temperature, major temperature every day, you put a destiny logo on your sleeve, so that we realize that your body temperature is under safe condition. Next slide. And most important thing is for foreign students, because I feel the same feeling, because they are now 2 years away from home and cannot see their relative for 2 years. And most important thing, maybe they lost quite a lot of part-time working opportunity, because they have to stay on campus, cannot be allowed to go off campus so freely. Therefore, we provide all sorts of subsidiary plan for, especially for our foreign students, to subsidize their renting fee or maybe providing for their daily living courses. Next slide, please. So, and also our foreign student office has taken very good care of each of our foreign student once they are trying to enter into the Taiwan. Before they enter and the enrollment of new student abroad, they have to go through our Office of International Affairs will guide them to go through step by step as illustrated in the following diagram. Next slide, please. And challenge has come. We have to encounter, although we are suffering from the epidemic, but still we have to provide them the opportunity to learn. That means our daily classes situation on the level 2 and level 1 and level 2, we can still provide the face-to-face learning. Next slide. But starting from flexible working, next slide. But starting from the last May, even ever after Taiwan being entering into the level 3, so almost all the courses being offered through distance is online courses being offered as online courses. So how to discuss a better examination price with mentor, with also the effort how to evaluate student learning situation is very important. And beyond that, we also have a very strong cooperation with the local hospital so that even they can provide our timely vaccine services. Next slide. So changing in teaching method during pandemic is necessary. So therefore, teaching strategy adjustment followed by a central academic command center ever after May 17. All courses went online on NDSU. How to transition teacher teaching method from a physical classroom to online? That's a good question, because we try to advocate to try to convince our faculty member to provide their courses through online system. However, in the past, it's not that successful. And look at the bright side. Ever after the pandemic, all of a sudden, all the teachers are now very familiar with teaching courses through on internet. And it's not a bad idea, not a bad thing. So, however, we have to provide all sort of the method to make sure teacher can teach when they transit from a physical classroom into an online system, so that they can still teach their course properly. And most important thing is how to ensure learning efficiency in an online classroom. And more than that, oral examination adjustment for master and PhD students are also very necessary. Next slide. Therefore, we encounter so-called online courses dilemmas. Various technology for online teaching is available in the IT market, but Taiwan's market has little interest. Due to epidemic, online and live streaming teaching have gathering a great deal of attention. Not all courses, but most important thing is, of course, not all the courses are suitable for online or live streaming instruction. For example, if you are teaching a lab courses, you want your student to do an on-site, do a practical training, and it's not that suitable for online courses. Next slide. So we need multiple assessment and evaluation methods, of course. For example, we provide weekly assignment or online quiz or online report or oral exam and video reports. Teachers in our school will help in adapting evaluation mechanism. That's we are doing our very best, try to help our teachers on campus. Next slide. And here is an evaluation flow chart of Donghua Digital Learning Solutions. You can see by yourself. Okay, if you need for distant or online teaching, then if yes, a high quality video needed, and then if you yes, go to the right tab. No, go to, for example, class recording, TA record courses, and uploaded them to the e-learning platform, and the students can be accessible. All the correlated students can accessible those videos. Next slide. So here is a Donghua advanced preparation. We prepare for synchronous online teaching and also prepare for a synchronous teaching plan. For synchronous, for general courses, we use online meeting to conduct courses. For advanced one, we use online meeting software and record cross video online. Then for a synchronous teaching plan, we have an easy material uploaded. Upload the textbook regarding the slides in PDF with careful explanation to the e-learning platform. And for general class recording, we use recording equipment to record courses. And for advanced screen recording, we screen record the slide presentation and upload it to the system, to the platform as well. Next slide. So teachers' evaluation best online teaching choices will be for synchronous online teaching, you're using live streaming, for example, using Google Meet or Office Teams, and can be recorded for students. After the class, they can come back to take a good look over and over again. And for advanced one, we can also use such as Google Meet or Office Team to form a discussion forum, or using other for interaction, dialogue, and for even higher level, we use Google Meet or Office Team group discussion function, so that the benefit of online discussion and recording function will be even better than those in the physical classroom. Next slide. Therefore, we have the final challenge is how to evaluate our online teaching. So because for the asynchronous one, unstable network and in quarantine or isolation, that's one of the challenge. How environment with unstable internet, insufficient equipment, or in pre-recorded teaching video or ebooks, turn good quality video into MOOCs and facilitate online flipped teaching and flexible teaching and more interaction between teacher and students. That's really important, because teachers should be carefully observe their students while they are doing the online teaching. Watch closely so the online courses efficiency can be preserved. Next slide. The impact will be instruction find online teaching is not difficult or scary. After these 2 years, after several months trial, instructor finally realized that joining the online teaching is not such a scary thing. And students have video to review after class even better than before. They can watch it while if they forgot some very important sections, and they can come back and take a good look over and over again. and modification in lecture style invite speaker become more diverse and convenient, especially for Donghua University, because we are located in the east of Taiwan, which is about 2 hours train distance from Taipei City. So sometime in the past, it's not that easy for or not that convenient for those speakers to come over to Donghua. Now they can simply using the online teaching system to join. But still, there will be new demand. How are and offline courses combined together, mix them together? Hybrid teaching, on and offline teaching, live stream, the in-class teaching process, and things like that. Next slide. So another thing we have to keep in mind is student achievement evaluation during the pandemic. Student performance review for all online courses, weekly online quiz, homework or reports, final online tests or seminar reports, online oral examination for graduate students, online test scheme are not for all courses, special equipment or location needed, factory, swimming, those kind of courses especially. Next slide. So we have to accept more online teaching or instructional video, and online courses experience makes the teaching method more flexible, and multiple evaluation mechanism for online courses has activated new method of physical teaching evaluation, increased demand of hybrid classroom for physical classroom and online teaching in parallel, and most important thing is how to achieve it in a regular classroom. Next slide. And dilemma and challenge will be how to carry out hybrid classroom in regular classroom, as I just mentioned, and how to adapt to the epidemic situation when online courses instruction is unavailable, and challenge of online test, surrogate, if they send in a surrogate, of course. Is there only one person under examination at the time of the test? How to confirm the examinee identity and things like that. Next slide. So we come out a SWOT analysis, of course, some sort of strength, opportunity, weakness, and the threat during the pandemic taken a heavy toll on the education. But once we have a challenge, we have solution. That's why it makes our human civilization evolve. Next slide. Therefore, for mixed learning, adventure future courses which are offered through mixture of online offline classes, it will be very natural to deliver courses like that. And deficiency for future courses which are offered through mixture of online courses is difficult to, as I just mentioned. Next slide. Then voila, metaverse coming, as Facebook just announced. What is metaverse? Here's some sort of example. That's the technology we have to combine together in order to provide metaverse. So you have to combine hardware, content service, and computing power, networking, virtual platform, and payment service, of course, and interchange tool and standards, things like that. Next slide. So here are the key technology for the future enabling technology. Tools such as no-code or low-code. What does that mean? That means we have to develop a lot of application that will relate it to not that much writing up a long line of programming code, and just go through those applications. They will help you to, as a tool, to help you deliver what you would like to do, okay? And hardware technology, as I just mentioned, software technology, and content creation technology for all tools, and cybersecurity. Cybersecurity and blockchain are very two important items that we have to bring into metaverse to solve those problems as we use it for metaverse learning. Then student identity or all that kind of student privacy will be protected by the cybersecurity, and as well as using blockchain. Next slide. Here are the metaverse as these information are provided by the company in the left down corner, and you can see there are several layers for metaverse, and we have to gather also the experiences all the way from infrastructure and then gathering all this information into our experiences. Next slide. As we know, Facebook have been changing as a Meta, and you see we have a real world and then there's a cyber world together in the future. So you can both live in your real world and then your surrogate or your avatar will live in the cyber world. Avatar, yeah. Next slide. And most important thing in the metaverse, this cyber world, the interaction between machine and the real person will be changing from the early age using mouse and then using sliding your finger, and then we are expecting what? Expecting using eye contact at the right hand side, as you can see that. Eye contact, eye recognition will be very, very important for if you want to bring in the metaverse, combining metaverse into your daily life. Next slide. And here's another example when you in the social network in the metaverse. So the eyesight, eye recognition is very important. Even more than that, your hand gesture or whatever facial recognition, those kind of human activity recognition technology should all be brought into the metaverse. That kind of technology should be all be brought into the metaverse environment. Next slide. So therefore, you can see that there's a status that they're re-immersion doing their job, and there's another machine is cyber serving their job in the cyber world. Next slide. So here is what we are trying to do for metaverse learning, as you can see from here, okay? And we have 5 different angles to get into it, such as the virtual social group activity and the virtual and real from face-to-face teaching and online teaching, and is capable of making up their deficiency. It is connection between real world and virtual world, which can be conducted anytime when responding to learning.
Dapat dengar.
Hello, Professor. We are sorry that you are mute your voice. We cannot hear your voice. Please unmute.
Something. Oh, okay. Sorry. Next slide, please. High technology, high risk, of course. And here are the metaverse learning comparison between metaverse and traditional learning. However, metaverse learning trying to facilitate the ability to solve the student ID identification, and virtual social group, of course, and virtual interaction compared to the face-to-face teaching, and boundless time and space, and virtual reality media, especially for those hands-on courses, which is important for the course. Hands-on experiences is important for the courses. And learning process, real-time recording, compared to the traditional learning. Next slide. So there are 6 main technologies should be brought in. As I mentioned in the previous slides, blockchain. So ID certification, digital certification, learning process, learning performance can be preserved, and the privacy can also be preserved. And network, ultra-speed, high-speed, stable network should be provided. And most important thing is artificial intelligence should be brought in. So gesture detection, virtual intelligence, as I just mentioned, eyesight recognition, natural language processing, and things like that. And Internet of Things, so that physical sensibility connecting the real and virtual world will be feasible, and interactivity, XR interface system provide social interaction, and multimedia can enhance the high-speed simulate 3D virtual reality environment and 3D media teaching material. Next slide. Yes, and here is a simulated environment for metaverse learning in National Donghua University. As you can see that, especially for all different kind of students, even for handicapped students, we can provide metaverse learning through our campus network. Next slide. So metaverse learning can be carried out through several different ways. First is cooperate with private sectors. And the second one is start to establish student virtual reality competition, make all kind of competition, let the student try to bring up their interest for this kind of courses. And the last thing, the third one is utilize of blockchain technology to store student certificate forever. So in the future, student diploma and certificate can be stored online forever and in a very safe way. Next slide. And we are now trying to carefully pick out a certain topic to start to establish our first metaverse learning course. And this one is a Chinese drama, okay, ancient Chinese drama. We call it in Chinese is Kunqu. The reason why we choose this one because all the actor or actress in this ancient drama, their eye contact or even a little hand gesture means quite a lot. Okay, maybe in some different gesture or some different eyesight is totally opposite in emotion. Try to express the emotion. Some of the eyesight may be very sad, but in the other way, or a few seconds after, their eyesight will become very happy and things like that. Then we can, for this kind of particular courses, is more suitable for our metaverse learning technology. Therefore, we pick this kind of topic as our very first one to establish our metaverse learning courses. Next slide. And here is some sort of preparation in Donghua University. Now we go through also, we already established our AR, VR, XR classroom and develop also all sort of AR, VR, XR experience. The students come over here, try to experience themselves, how AR, XR, VR can bring what kind of exciting environment to them and things like that. Next slide. And more than that, we have signed a contract with one of a very famous company in Taiwan, HTC. HTC now devote themselves to establishing XR quite a lot. So after they joining with them, we have speed up our AR XR capability quite a lot, quite fast, in a very speedy way. Next slide. Okay, I guess I have briefly introduced what we are trying to do in the future. Hopefully, our metaverse learning courses will be finished within 6 months from now. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, we really appreciate for this wonderful and advanced speech. And actually, I think it's time for welcome all the questions from the floor and also from online. Do we have any questions? Is there anyone raise a little hand? If not, actually, I do have one question because when the meta, this word being announced, and people start to, especially we put into this environment into, the higher education campus-wise, will there be any challenges? I mean, definitely not present, not right now, but President George, have you think about what might happen if a student, hire or create, as you just mentioned, the surrogate or the proxy, to play or to attend the class for herself or for himself. I don't know. What's your response or your preparation for that? Yes.
Yes. Wholly established metaverse environment, everyone should experience what we have in a physical world into the metaverse world. That means in the metaverse world, you can also purchase things using, for example, using Bitcoins. Okay, you can even chat with your girlfriend in the cyber world. Okay, you can even do whatsoever. Whatever you have done in the physical world should be also applicable in the metaverse world. So that brings up a lot of attention for adopting privacy preserving and the so-called blockchain technology. So every security should be preserved, and student identity can be easily figured out, and therefore surrogate and or even using avatar can be prevented in all the way in the beginning. So I guess we still have a little far away from reaching that final goal, but I guess I'm quite sure the technology is about to mature. The only things left is trying to bring them together to make sure that every detail will be taken care in a good shape. That's my answer.
Yeah, really appreciate it. I think you provide a very good role model, not only for Taiwanese higher education university, but also for the Indonesian universities. Yeah, I really appreciate for your wonderful talk. And
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, I think it's come to our next session, next speaker, and Professor Dr. Suyono, and he's the Vice Rector of Academic Affairs, Universitas Negeri Jakarta. Did I pronounce correctly?
Yes.
Negeri Jakarta.
Negeri.
Yes, Professor Suyono, you have to, forgive me because I just learned how to pronounce this from my Indonesian PhD students. Sorry about that. Okay. Yes, Professor Vice Rector Suyono, he's had his Master of Mathematics from Gajah Mada University, Yogyakarta. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's too difficult for me, but I'm trying my best to do my job. Okay, and the next one I know how to pronounce that, and he had his PhD about in applied probability from Delft University of Technology, the Netherlands. I think I pronounced correctly. And he also served as a professor, associate professor in the current university. And he has lots of the prestigious administrative position and list of the publications, for example, numerical method for computing, the auto-covariance of renewal reward processes, and also method for computing the auto-variance of renewal processes, and so on and so forth. And I think the most, I think the coherent topic he's going to present now is preparing future teachers in Indonesia facing global post-pandemic challenges by transforming teacher education. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vice Rector, Professor Dr. Suyono. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Lin, for introducing me nicely. Thank you very much also to the committee for inviting me to be part of this excellent forum. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before starting with my presentation in this good occasion, allow me to introduce shortly my university, Universitas Negeri Jakarta. My university is located in the capital of Indonesia, Jakarta. Formerly, my university is an institute for teacher training and education, and since 1999, we got wide-minded from the government to become a general university, but we still have main business in producing teachers. We have many collaboration with universities around the world, with Asia University, with Taiwan. Until now, we have collaboration with 4 universities: Asia University, Southern Taiwan University of Science and Technology, Normal Taichung University of Education, and Nycu University. With Asia University, we sent 20 students in 2019, and in the period of pandemic, more than 600 of my students participate in the virtual student exchange with Asia University. In the future, we will be happy and open to have collaboration with other universities or institutions in Taiwan. We have some excellent study programs such as sports science education, art education, early childhood education, and many others. We also have Mandarin language education. It would be nice if we can have double degree or general degree in the future. Now let me start with my topic. In this occasion, I want to present our thoughts about preparing future teachers in Indonesia in facing global post-pandemic challenges by transforming teacher education. It is not solely my idea. This presentation is jointly prepared with my colleagues. They are Wes Hairuman, which has expertise in educational technology, and then Yuli Rahmawati, an expert in science education, Yan Abdul Aziz from mathematics education, Audah Diamah from engineering education, and Tarmizi Al-Khudri from social science education, and Mukhlas Huseno from language education. Next slide, please. The outline of my talk is as follows. After an introduction, I will tell you about the teacher education in Indonesia, and then propose profile and competency for future teachers, and end up with suggestion for transformation of teacher education. Let me start with an introduction. Next slide, please. As you see, the unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic has created historic disruption at every level of education. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected almost 1.6 billion learners in the world. Closures of schools have impacted 94% of the world student population, mostly from low and lower middle income countries. UNICEF reported that 80 million children and adolescents in Indonesia are facing impact on their learning, health, nutrition, and economic security. The pandemic has forced shifting learning modes from face-to-face to remote learning, impacting learning loss. It is a big challenge to recover the learning loss. Next slide, please. In Indonesia, we have some other challenges in education. Indonesia is a big country. Indonesia is the fourth most populated country in the world, with population around 270 million people. Indonesia is consisting of around 17,000 islands with 700 languages and 300 ethnic groups. Some problems are still faced by Indonesian government, such as the diversity of prosperity, educational infrastructure, including internet connection, and teachers, which are not evenly distributed. These conditions have created many challenges for Indonesia to improve education quality. But there is a good hope for Indonesia in the future. In 2012, Indonesia was among the 16 largest economies in the world, and it is predicted that Indonesia will become the 7th by 2030, and by 2050 will be the 4th largest country in the world after China, India, and the United States. However, based on the data from the Indonesian Central Bureau of Statistics in 2017, Indonesian workers with high education qualification make up only 12.08% of the total workforce, with majority possessing only a primary school certificate. It is therefore important for Indonesia to improve the quantity and quality workforce to compete at a global level. Teachers have an important role in preparing qualified workforce in post-pandemic world. Indonesia also has problem with student performance on international tests such as PISA and TIMSS. Recent international test results indicate that Indonesian student performance in reading, mathematics, and science lags behind many other comparable countries. The low performance of Indonesian students in international tests may be related to the low quality of teachers in delivering the lessons. Lowenberg and Forzani state that countries with strong teacher quality assurance policies and selective teacher recruitment also have strong student performance on international tests. Therefore, to enhance student performance, we need to start with improving the teacher education program. Next slide, please. Now I want to describe the teacher education in Indonesia. Indonesia has about 400 public and 4,000 private higher education institutions, each with their own staff qualification, infrastructure, equipment, and size of facilities. Most are in Java, about 43%, and Sumatra, 29%, whilst in Maluku and Papua Islands has less than 5%. Indonesia has more than 420 teacher education institutions, or LPTK. The growing number of LPTKs has resulted in an oversupply of teachers. More than 250,000 students from LPTK are graduated every year. Meanwhile, Indonesia needs only about 150,000 teachers per year. This condition has raised to several problems such as unemployment and irrelevant jobs. According to the regulation of the Minister of Education, Culture, Research and Technology concerning teacher education standards, professional teachers or certified teachers in Indonesia are considered to have 4 competencies namely professional, pedagogical, personal, and social competence. Teacher candidates who are graduated from LPTK are required to complete 18 to 20 credit hours of training focused on professional competency development. Teacher candidates holding a university degree from a general university are required to complete 36 to 40 credit hours of training focused on pedagogical competency development. Next slide. I want to present future teacher profile and competency. We think that future teachers should have the following characteristics: empowering character, lifelong learners, reflective and transformative teacher, leader, and adaptive and visionary teachers. Teachers who have an empowering character have a strong self-identity and are able to face future challenges. Teachers will be expected to educate an Indonesian generation that can adapt well as a member of a global society and also valuing community life in Indonesia. Lifelong learners in the future teacher profile are expected to know how to learn and have willingness to relearn and continue learning. The development and rapid changes of science and technology require teachers to continue to learn and be open to the latest knowledge and information. Reflection is an essential for teachers to understand their identity as teacher and to recognize their role as teacher. Transformative teachers are learners who continue to improve themselves and develop their competencies in helping students develop as holistic human beings. The development of this competence is not only related to the fields of science and technology, but also to attitudes and skills. Teachers have to demonstrate their role as leaders who facilitate learning and motivates their students to become self-regulated learners and transforming themselves in preparation to undertake a variety of roles in the future. Adaptive and visionary teachers will be open to various changes, but still have an individual identity. Teachers who have a vision for future have the skills to analyze situations, develop themselves, and prepare students to face future challenges, and dare to take risks in creating challenging learning experience for students. Now I want to present future teacher competencies. The following are competencies that future teachers should master. First, content knowledge. Teachers are challenged to understand the philosophy and concept related to their body of knowledge. Future teachers are required to relate system thinking to various multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary, and interdisciplinary perspectives. The second, pedagogy. Educational competencies relate to both curriculum and learning theories and concepts, student characteristics, learning methods and media, assessment, and other related top aspects. Teachers who have a progressive curriculum perspective will create empowering learning environment using authentic learning strategies. Teachers will be required to develop technological literacy without ignoring human literacy. Future-oriented teachers will analyze current situation and context and future challenges. The third, attitude. Personal, social, and ethical characteristics will become the basic values for teachers carrying out their various roles. The religious, societal, and cultural values held by the Indonesian people become important to a nation which is facing an identity crisis caused by increasingly borderless globalization. The teacher characteristic characterized by personal, social, and professional ethics will have an increasingly important role in developing the character of students in the future. Fourth, skills. Competent in the field of content knowledge, pedagogy, attitudes, and values cannot be separated from teachers' profession and productive use of technology. The development of learning technology to innovate student learning experiences will require teachers who continue to develop their skills. Building networks in an increasingly multicultural and borderless society will raise awareness and help teachers understand cultural differences so they can adapt to and overcome rapid change. In the last part of my talk, I will give some suggestions for the transformation of teacher education. In the future, teacher education is expected to take a holistic approach in developing teachers who have the knowledge and skills to be competitive and adaptive, and who also have the right attitude and character. We suggest 4 aspects for transforming teacher education. Number 1, transformative institution. Teacher education institutions are expected to adapt and continue to develop the quality of future teachers whose profile align with the essential competencies. Transformative institutions reflect and adapt to continuous improvement. Teacher education institutions need to be aware of the future challenges that include curriculum revitalization, improved learning experiences, and the evaluation of graduate competencies. An improved quality of education that meets international standards can be developed without abandoning the character values of teacher education in Indonesia. Number 2, progressive teacher education curriculum. To ensure the high quality of learning and to prepare future teachers, all institutions need to redesign their curricula. The teacher education curriculum needs to be developed within a progressive framework that consists of science and pedagogical courses that integrate experience, develop thinking skills, and aim for community reconstruction. Prospective teachers must be able to integrate knowledge, attitudes, and skills within a pedagogical and technological framework of developing student values and character. The challenge for teacher education is to create a progressive curriculum. Number 3, authentic and transformative learning experience. A teacher education curriculum is expected to provide learning experiences related to authentic learning. Prospective teachers must experience implementing their competencies through engaging in practical teaching experiences in schools. Regardless of future development, where schools may become virtual spaces, teachers still need to master classroom management skills and learn how to interact effectively with students. Authentic and transformative learning experiences will help prospective teachers develop their teacher identity formed by a passion and love for the profession. Prospective teachers will be lifelong learners who continue to develop their competencies in periods of rapid change. Number 4, empowering collaboration. Collaboration as the key to collective agency and empowerment focuses on improving the competencies of student teachers and lecturers for facing future challenges. Collaboration at the national and international level will support development of teacher program. I will end my talk with some conclusion. Number 1, globalization, digital technology, and the post-pandemic environment will have a critical impact on higher education. Number 2, higher education must be responsive and adapt to rapid change. Number 3, higher education institutions that deliver teacher education programs must transform their curricula, students and teacher learning experiences, and opportunities for collaboration to become effective learning organizations. Number 4, the need for transformation has led to the development of a future teacher competency profile. Number 5, the profile aspires to develop student teachers who have an empowering character, who are lifelong learners, reflective, adaptive, visionary, and transformative teachers and leaders. The profile is shaped by teacher competencies in the dimension of content and pedagogical knowledge, skills, and attitudes in relation to the use of digital platforms, multidisciplinary approaches, and cultural competencies. And finally, UNJ is a pedagogical university that continuously reflect on and transform various aspects of the education system in preparing the future teachers by working together with a range of stakeholders. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, concise, and warm advice and suggestions to all teachers in higher education, both in Taiwan and Indonesia, when we're thinking about how we are going to, teach in the future environment. Unfortunately, I was informed by our MC that due to the time constraint, we have the officials waiting online for our next agenda, which is signing the MOU. So let's, ladies and gentlemen, online and on the floor, please give a big hand to thank you, Professor Suyono, for his wonderful speech. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to give the microphone to our two beautiful MC, Hansi and Vicky.
Thank you, Professor Ling, for your excellent moderation. And we also want to thank both speakers, both Professor Chow and Professor Suyono, for your very up-to-date latest insights on the metaverse, as well as how to transform the teaching at the normal universities for teachers in Indonesia.
Terima kasih kami ucapkan kepada Profesor Chun Wei-Lin, Dekan College of Management Asia University, telah menjadi moderator untuk diskusi feature speech yang ke-6 antara Profesor Han Chie Chow dari National Tsinghua University dan Profesor Suyono, Wakil Rektor Universitas Negeri Jakarta. Terima kasih atas ide yang cemerlang, atas pendapat-pendapat dan paparannya terhadap presentasi yang baru saja disampaikan.
Now we have a break, a very short break until 11:25. Due to the time constraint, the break will only be 5 minutes. And afterwards, we will proceed with the MOU signing.
Setelah ini kita akan istirahat selama 5 menit karena keterbatasan waktu. Oleh karena itu, Bapak Ibu sekalian, mohon hadir kembali ke forum di pukul 11:25 waktu Taiwan atau sekitar 10:25 waktu Indonesia bagian Barat.
And again, during the break, we have the URL of the certificate on the screen. So please go ahead and, in case you haven't done so, scan it for the certification for attending this program.
Bapak Ibu yang kami hormati, dimanapun Anda berada, mohon untuk bisa men-scan QR code yang ada di layar Bapak Ibu jika ingin mendapatkan sertifikat atas kehadiran atau partisipasi Bapak Ibu di The 6th Taiwan-Indonesia Higher Education Virtual Forum.
Okay, welcome back from the break. Next up, we have a very exciting and important MOU signing. This MOU signing is groundbreaking between 27 Taiwanese universities and 30 Indonesian universities.
Selamat datang kembali. Kita berada pada puncak acara Virtual Forum 2021 dengan penandatanganan naskah kerjasama yang melibatkan 27 universitas di Taiwan dan 30 universitas dari Indonesia.
Due to the online format, there is a limitation of space and also a constraint of time. So we can only invite 6 pairs of universities from Taiwan and Indonesia to attend the signing. Out of those 6, the logic of selecting them is based on different types and different formats of university. So there's a public comprehensive university, private comprehensive university, public technical university, private technical university, and finally a normal teacher-only university.
Karena keterbatasannya tempat dan keterbatasannya waktu, kami mohon maaf, kami hanya bisa mengundang 6 perwakilan universitas yang akan menandatangani naskah kerjasama. 6 universitas ini dipilih berdasarkan ada universitas dari multidisiplin, universitas dari,
and then the camera should be on and we will see the signing activity from each one of the schools.
Karena ini dilakukan secara virtual, kami akan memberikan penjelasan prosedur bagaimana penandatanganan naskah kerjasama dilakukan antara 2 universitas. Kami akan memanggil perwakilan penandatanganan di sini satu persatu. Kemudian kami mohon Bapak Ibu dibantu untuk menyalakan kamera, pastikan kamera dalam kondisi menyala, karena akan diadakan foto secara masing-masing di bagian pasangan untuk satu universitas di Indonesia dan satu universitas di Taiwan.
And after the signing, please kindly hold up the signed document so that we can take a screenshot of the photo of the both sides of the signers from the screen.
Ketika kami panggil satu persatu dari masing-masing perwakilan untuk universitas di Taiwan dan Universitas Indonesia, mohon pastikan kembali kamera karena kami akan meminta Bapak Ibu untuk menunjukkan naskah kerjasama ke layar yang sudah ditandatangani.
And finally, before the end of the MOU signing, we would like to invite all the signers to take a group photo together. So please stay on the line and turn on the camera so we can take a screenshot of the group photo.
Setelah 6 naskah perwakilan ditandatangani oleh semua universitas, kami mohon 6 universitas yang kami panggil untuk menunjukkan secara bersama-sama naskah kerjasama ke layar untuk dilakukan foto bersama.
Okay, so as we see that
Director General Lee, we are going to invite Director General Lee as the Department of International Cross-Strait Education, Ministry of Education, Taiwan as the witness of this MOU signing between the universities from Indonesia and Taiwan. Director General Lee, are you here with us?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for including me.
Okay, so now we are going to be ready. MOU kali ini.
Okay, thank you. So now we will invite the first pair of signers. First up is National Sun Yat-sen University, 国立中山大学 Vice President for International Pairs, Dr. Chi Wen-kuo.
Kami panggil dan undang Bapak Rektor Profesor Muhammad Nasi dari Universitas Airlangga untuk mengambil tempat posisi penandatanganan.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Nice to be here attending this signing ceremony.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to sign MOU with the university in Taiwan. I'm really sorry on behalf of Rector Universitas Airlangga. My name is Ninyo Mantri Puspaningsih, the Vice Rector of Research, Innovation, and Community Development. Thank you.
Yes, so please go ahead and thank you so much for signing the documents.
Monggo Ibu Nyoman, Profesor Nyoman untuk menandatangani. Now take a photo, sambil menunjukkan, ya Bapak Ibu agak sedikit maju Prof Nyoman. Tahan sebentar Prof, tahan sebentar. 1, 2, 3. Oke.
Okay, thank you both very much.
Terima kasih.
Okay. Thank you. The next pair, the second pair, is from National Donghua University, Donghua Daxue President Han Che-Chao.
Kami panggil dari Universitas Brawijaya Profesor Bambang Kuswandi, Wakil Rektor 3. Kami persilakan Pak Prof Bambang untuk mengambil tempat.
Bambang Kuswandi.
Excuse me, I think it's wrong. Actually, I'm from the University of Jember, which is actually our rector, Dr. Iwan Taruna, will be directly sign the MOU for University of Jember with ASEAN University. Thank you.
So sorry, ya mohon maaf Bapak Ibu sekalian, kan ini mohon maaf kalau kesalahan dalam pemanggilan nama. Mohon maaf sekali dari Universitas Brawijaya, Profesor Sasmito.
Ya, siap.
Jati.
Siap.
Oke. Mohon maaf Bapak, ya apakah Bapak siap untuk melakukan penandatanganan?
Siap.
Oke. Baik Bapak Ibu sekalian. Prof. Sasmito. Oke. Siap Bapak Ibu, 3, 2, 1. Monggo ditandatangani.
Okay, please go ahead. Thank you so much for signing. Please go ahead and sign the documents. 现在可以请您开始签署这份文件，谢谢。
Oke. Baik Bapak Ibu, Bapak, Prof mohon menunjukkan di layar. Oke.
也请您在签完之后把文件举起来。
So, President, we would like to kindly invite you to show the document to the camera, your camera. Professor? Professor?
Yes. Professor, can you hear us? 对，赵校长，您好，请问现在您方便签署文件吗？
刚刚不是说 Asia University 吗？怎么又换我了？
哦，是，对。
Mohon ditahan dulu, Prof.
Okay.
Sasmito, mohon ditahan dulu. Oke. So, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Terima kasih.
Iya, nanti kita mau coba.
Thank you so much for signing. Next up, the third pair of signing is National Changhua University of Education. The signer will be President Chen Mingfei.
Kami undang Uin Maulana Malik Ibrahim, Profesor Dr. Muhammad Zainuddin sebagai rektor untuk mengambil posisi penandatanganan naskah kerjasama. Prof. Zainuddin, apakah Prof di sana? Uin Maulana Malik Ibrahim.
Yes, using the account name Zenurofik.
Uin Maulana Malik Ibrahim. Okay.
Uh, 请问陈校长的镜头可以开一下吗？谢谢。We would like to invite.
Win Malang is here. Win Malang is here.
Ya, kami undang yang dari pihak Taiwan. Terima kasih. Sebentar, Bapak Ibu. Sambil menunggu pihak dari Taiwan.
对，陈校长，麻烦您可以开启一下镜头吗？谢谢。哦。
Oke.
Hao.
Silakan perwakilan dari UIN Maulana Malik Ibrahim untuk menandatangani.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you so
Silakan
much.
ditandatangani. Oke, mohon Bapak untuk menunjukkan di kamera. Kita ambil dokumentasinya. I think that we're going to take. Please, I think that it's not seen enough. It's not seen enough.
Yes. So now we can both hold up the certificate.
Dari UIN Malang ini agak tidak jelas ini, Bapak. Agak ke belakang dikit. Oke. Oh, agak maju sedikit, Bapak. Agak ke belakang, diuturkan sampai layarnya kelihatan di layar Bapak, kelihatan dokumennya. Okay. Nah, itu lebih baik. Oh, agak sedikit ke belakang, yang ujung tidak kelihatan. Nah, oke, ditahan. 1, please hold. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Terima kasih.
Thank you so much for the signing. The fourth pair of signer from Taiwan. Yeah. Thank you. The fourth pair of signer from Taiwan. Let's welcome the president of Asia University, Professor Jeffrey J.P. Tsai.
Kita undang dari Universitas Jember, yaitu Dr. Insinyur Iwan Taruna sebagai rektor.
Yeah, I'm here ready to sign.
Bapak, spotlight mungkin teman-teman. Bentar Bapak, kami spotlight terlebih dahulu.
Yeah, monggo. Ya, dia masih pakai itu.
Dari Taiwan, from the Taiwan.
Yes.
Okay.
So we can proceed to do the signing now.
Mari Bapak silakan untuk menandatangani. Pak Rektor, monggo ditandatangani.
Nah, ini sudah.
Oke. Silakan ditunjukkan Pak Iwan.
Now please hold up the.
Ditahan sebentar Bapak, ditahan sebentar. Ya, ditahan sebentar ya Pak.
Itu presidennya masih tanda tangan.
Now please.
Agak lebih tinggi.
Kindly hold up the certificate. We're ready for the screenshot photo taking together.
Tunggu sebentar, Professor Sai, I think that Professor Sai. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor and President, for signing. Next up, the fifth pair of signers from National Tsinghua University of Technology. The representative will be Vice Dean Chen Chi-wan from the Taiwan side.
Kami undang Profesor Ambar Yanto, Wakil Rektor Universitas Diponegoro untuk mengambil tempat penandatanganan.
Yes, Mbak. I'm ready here.
Yes, I'm here. Comes from Tsinghua University. It's very nice to attend signing ceremony, and we hope to have a close cooperation with the University Diponegoro in the near future. Thank you.
Ya,
Thank you.
Prof. Ambar,
Ya,
apakah bisa menyalakan kamera? Karena
sudah
masih belum.
dinyalakan, sudah.
Oh, sudah. Oke. So, 1, 2, 3.
Please go ahead and sign the document. And yes, please kindly hold up the
Sekarang mohon
document.
ditunjukkan ke layar, Prof. Sambil menunggu tim IT mengambil dokumentasi. Oke, terima kasih Prof. Ambar.
Sudah.
Sudah Prof.
Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you. We have gotten the screenshot together. Thank you both signers so much for signing the documents. For the last pair of signers, we have a representative from Central Taiwan University of Science and Technology, Vice President Kai Yun Chen.
Kami undang Universitas Samratulangi, Wakil Rektor Profesor Sangker tadi untuk mengambil posisi penandatanganan.
Yeah. Hello.
Ya, Bapak.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Lagi, Bapak.
On behalf of Samratulangi University, I am Professor Dr. Sangker Tadi as Vice Rector for Planning, Budgeting, and Collaboration Affairs.
Baik, Bapak, silakan menandatangani naskah kerjasamanya.
Okay, please go ahead and sign the document. Thank you. And we invite both speakers to hold up the document for the photo together.
Mohon tahan sebentar, Bapak. Oke. Baik.
Thank you so much for all the signers. Now we would like to invite all the signers to kindly turn on the camera and also hold up the signed document. We will take a group screenshot of the witness as well as all 12 signers on the screen together. So please do give us a moment as our technicians need to make sure all the cameras are aligned. Thank you so much for your waiting.
Bapak Ibu, kami sampaikan mohon untuk meletakkan naskah kerjasama di depan kamera. Pastikan naskah kerjasama tampil di kamera Bapak Ibu untuk kamera sudah semuanya sudah oke? Saudara, kami pastikan Universitas Brawijaya.
Ya, siap.
Oke. Samratulangi sudah siap? Universitas Airlangga tampaknya sudah siap. Universitas Diponegoro?
Ya.
Oke. Sudah siap? Oke. Are we ready? Mohon bersabar Bapak Ibu, kami juga mencocokkan dengan spotlight karena dilakukan dengan virtual. Kami mencocokkan dengan spotlightnya juga.
Yes, please hold the pose for one more moment while we ensure all the signers and witness are on the screen together. Just one moment, please.
Maulana Malik Ibrahim. Uin Maulana Malik Ibrahim Malang. Apakah siap untuk grup foto?
Yes, we are ready. We are ready.
Pastikan kamera di depan Bapak menyala, Bapak. Oke. Bapak agak sedikit mundur untuk yang Uin Malang karena akan terekspos dengan backdropnya sehingga tidak terlihat. Nah, agak ke belakang dikit, Bapak. Ya. Untuk yang Uin Malang, ini posisi yang paling pas, Bapak. Mohon ditahan sebentar untuk memastikan semua terdampak di layar framework. Apakah sudah siap untuk foto? Universitas Airlangga sudah ready, Universitas Brawijaya juga sudah ready, Universitas Islam Negeri Maulana juga sudah ready, Jember sudah ada di sini, Jember? Jember? Universitas Jember? Oke. Oke. Apakah sudah siap untuk Oke, bergaya Bapak Ibu, 1, 2, 3. Terima kasih.
Alright,
Terima kasih Bapak Ibu.
thank you so much, all the all the signers and the witness for your patience. Thank you so much. Finally, it has come time for the closing ceremony. And the closing ceremony, we have the honor of inviting the esteemed Dr. Nicole Yan-Yi Lee to be the closing speaker. But before that, we would love to invite our president at Asia University, Professor Jeffrey J.P. Tsai, to introduce Dr. Nicole Lee, please.
Okay, Director General Dr. Nicole Yan-Yi Lee, and all the president, vice president, all the participants. I think with the leadership from Dr. Lee, the Director General of the MOU in Taiwan, I believe we have very successful forum. Particularly highlight of this forum is the signing of the MOU between the university from Taiwan and Indonesia. And thank you very much for Dr. Lee's witness. And all the speakers from yesterday and today give the excellent presentation. We learned a lot, particularly the response from the university, from the president, vice president from Indonesia. They are very pleased. This is very high quality forum. And I hope we'll continue this kind of forum. Next year, I believe we'll be in Indonesia. So all the people, all the university in Taiwan, and also all the university in Indonesia, I hope we can have a physical, this higher education forum in Indonesia. With that, it's my great honor and pleasure to invite Director General Dr. Lee to give our closing remark. Let's give a warm welcome, Dr. Lee.
Thank you. Thank you for Professor Jerry Tsai, President of Asian University. All the distinguished participants, hello everyone, good afternoon. Asian University and the Taipei Economy and the Trade Office, Jakarta. I would also like to thank each of the speakers who share their valuable insight and political ideas yesterday and today. We are all deeply committed to provide higher education of the highly quality to meet the need of social science, our society and the industry and the future challenges. And Taiwan is strongly committed to working together with university and the research institution in our region to engage in joint training, education, and research. For enhancing our bilateral alliance and educational cooperation, we have established a new southbound talent development program targeting Southeast countries as a potential strategic partner for our regional social and economic cooperation. Training and education the trainer, the skilled workers to mutual understanding and prosperity is a core component of Taiwan New Southbound policies. We offer many scholarships and programs to promote collaboration, research, and educational link between Taiwan and Indonesia. So in the meantime, we can learn from each other's experience and share our educational resource. Today's sign MOUs between university in Taiwan and Indonesia is a testimony of this. So I hope that the higher education and the research cooperation between Taiwan and Indonesia will continue to grow and flourish. And I wish each of you and your colleagues and family good health. Hopefully, see you all next year in person. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your excellent closing remarks for this conference.
Terima kasih banyak atas sambutan yang diberikan oleh Director General Lee untuk supportnya terhadap the 6th Taiwan-Indonesia Higher Education Virtual Forum kali ini.
So this concludes our program today. Again, on behalf of Asia University and all the organizers, we would like to thank all the keynote speakers, presenters, and moderators for contributing to this forum.
Terima kasih kami ucapkan sekali lagi kepada para rektor, wakil rektor, semua partisipan yang tidak bisa kami sebutkan satu persatu dari dua pihak, dan para pendukung supporting system atas terselenggaranya virtual forum kali ini, di mana banyak orang yang terlibat dalam kesuksesan 2 hari acara yang terselenggara sejak kemarin dan sekarang.
Thank you so much for attending, and we look forward to meeting again next year.
Kami ucapkan sekali lagi, sampai jumpa di Indonesia tahun depan. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.